Welcome back to my channel. This is Sir Josh Knowledge Nook, your learning partner. And for today's discussion, we are going to discuss about the different classification and elements of visual arts. Now, it's important for us to learn this lesson because it provides us an initial understanding on the different classification and the different elements of visual arts, which we may use in analyzing and interpreting different art forms that includes visual arts. But before we proceed on discussing, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Now, let us start discussing the different classification and elements of visual arts. But before that, again, let us review what is visual art. Talk about visual art. This uses a medium that can be seen and occupy space. So these are also arts that meet the eye and evoke emotion through an expression of skill and imagination. Because of course, aside from the fact that we can see visual art because it meets our eye. But sometimes some of these artworks, also tries to appeal to us, especially with the techniques that is used by the artist, So it tries to evoke emotion, so we can feel also something out from that artwork that was being created by different artists. And it includes the most ancient forms such as painting and drawing. So again, the reason why it's called ancient forms because since time has lived together, painting and drawing was already the means of people to communicate and to express their feelings and emotions. Arts that were born the development of technology were also emerged, such as sculpture, printmaking, photography, and installation art. So now let's proceed on discussing the different classifications of visual arts. By the way, everywhere we can find a lot of visual arts, different types and classifications of visual arts. But for the sake of today's discussion, we are going to discuss eight of the famous visual arts we can find everywhere. And first is painting. I know that you are familiar with painting, and I think that you also experience painting. But painting here is defined as the art of creating meaningful effects on a flat surface by the use of pigments. Because of course, before we call the process painting, we need these materials of a flat surface, wherein we're going to paint. And of course, painting will not be complete without the use of colors, that is pigment. And with the use of these two important material or medium, we can now create a meaningful effect, okay, on that surface. And in painting, we use different mediums where each medium exerts a pronounced effect on the finished product. Because of course, depende sa gamitin nato na medium or materials, muna nagkakaiba-iba din kung yung effect ng ating output or artwork. For example, if you're going to use watercolor, so the effects is different from acrylic and oil painting. Okay, so these mediums are applied to not limited to wet plaster, canvas, wood, or paper. Next, we have mosaic. So mosaic is the art of putting together small pieces of colored stone or glass called tesserae to create an image. So from the word mosaic, no, so we're going to have a different material, no, wherein we're going to cut stones, perhaps, or glasses into small pieces, and then we're going to put them together. Okay, so tesserae are most often cut into squares and glued on a surface with plaster or cement. And remember that mosaic is usually classified as painting, although the difference is that it does not use liquid or pigment, no? Because mosaic is more on combining small pieces together to create an image or a form. Next, we also have stained glass. So stained glass are commonly found in Gothic cathedrals and churches. So it is made by combining small pieces of colored glass held together by bands of lead. That is the reason why if makakita mo o mga stained glass sa simbahan, nasa yung mga itom na parts because that is what holds together This colored glass that is also being putted together or um, arranged to create an image. Next, we also have drawing, which is usually done on paper using pencil, pen and ink, or charcoal. And remember that drawing is the most fundamental of all skills necessary in arts because through drawing, we can create different forms, outlines, or figures. And if an artist do not know how to draw, then probably that artist would not also be able to learn how to do other visual arts because again drawing is the basic skills that an artist should have. Okay, so drawing has always been considered a very good training for artists because it makes one concentrate on the use of lines. And do not underestimate the beauty of drawing because sometimes, even if it's just drawing, we can also use shading, which can make the drawings more lifelike and realistic. Next, you also have printmaking. So this is an example of a visual art that emerges because of the emergence of technology too. So a print is anything printed on a surface that is a direct result from the application process. So printmaking is usually done or is as a form of visual art wherein it's responsible for making multiple copies out of the original drawing. So mo ni ang naka-advantage sa printmaking because an artist dili na siya necessary to draw an artwork na dinaghan na with the same design and with the same subject because through the use of printers nowadays, so we can already do multiple copies out of one original artwork. Next, we also have sculpture. Talk about sculpture. This refers to an artistic form in which hard or plastic materials are worked into three-dimensional art objects. The designs may be embodied in freestanding objects, in reliefs on surfaces, or in environments ranging from tableau to contexts that envelop the spectator. So I know that you are familiar already with sculpture because everywhere in plaza, in churches, we can find different kinds of sculpture. Okay. The next, we also have architecture. It is the art of designing a building and supervising its construction. However, we have to take note that architecture is not just about designing and building, no, um, structures, but it's also about maximizing the available spaces that is available in the environment. It may also be regarded as a procedure assisted with the conception of an idea and its realization in terms of building materials. And the last no, na visual art is we have filmmaking. But sir, filmmaking is more appropriate to be included in the combined arts. But remember, since we can also see something from filmmaking, so that is why it's still considered a visual art, and we're going to include that one. There's a captivating art form that combines storytelling, visual aesthetics, and technical expertise to create a powerful medium of expression. So I know naman that you are all familiar with filmmaking because I think every day we watch different kinds of film or series. And of course, behind that every mesmerizing films that we usually watch, there is an intricate and collaborative process that brings together countless creative minds. Yes, because before we can be able to create film, it must be a group of individuals, no, and mag-work together for a successful making of films. Why? Because film requires a director, different actors, editors, producers. So all of these people will work together to provide a mesmerizing and captivating na mga film. So I hope you have learned something from our discussion regarding the different classifications of visual art. If you are also curious about what are the other forms and the different classifications of other visual arts, so you are also free to search for more. And now let's proceed to discuss about the different elements of visual arts. Talk about elements, it refers to the quantities or properties that are usually found in visual art. So For today's discussion about the elements of visual arts, so we are going to discuss about the different lines, color, texture, perspective, space, form, and volume. So first, we're going to discuss about line. Now, remember that line is an important element at the disposal of every artist because through the use of lines, an artist, can form or can represent figures and forms. Okay, which is very important in terms of painting and sculpture because in painting it may serve as our outline for us to be able to do painting, and in sculpture it also serve as our guide, on the different um paano dapat ta mag mag-iban sa atong mga medium sa sculpture. The line always have direction, they are always moving, and lines are used in any work of art, either straight or curved. Now, let us try to discuss the different kinds of lines that are used in visual arts. Na they also convey something that we can use in interpreting and analyzing different visual art. So first we have horizontal line. So these lines convey the lines of repose and serenity. Then they are usually found in reclining person, in landscapes, and calm bodies of water. That is why they express the idea of calmness and quiescence. And we also have vertical line, which denotes action because they are usually found in a man standing straight, a tall tree, in statues of saints, and because of this, it gives an impression of dignity. Wala mas siguro tayo makita ng mga different sculptures, no, na nagtuwad. Oo. So especially sculptures sa mga heroes nato or sa mga saints, all of them or most of them, are can be found in a standing manner or vertical line. So a vertical line suggests poise, balance, force, aspiration, exaltation, and dynamism. And they also tend to express aroused emotions of exaltation and inquietude. Next, we also have the diagonal line. So if vertical line denotes an action, diagonal line also denotes an action and already movement. Now remember, in an artwork, almost every object that shows an action or movement always assumes diagonal line. But the degree of action will depend on the angle that the diagonal make in relation to the ground. So we also have curved line. Okay, talk about curved line. These are lines that are considered not harsh or not stern because the change of direction is gradual. And these lines suggest grace, subtleness, direction, instability, movement, flexibility, and joyousness. Next, we also have jag lines, so which are the opposite of curved lines. So if curved lines are not harsh or stern, well, jag line is harsh. That is why it expresses or conveys an idea of energy, violence, conflict, and struggle. Now let's proceed to color. Talk about color. These are the different qualities of light being reflected or emitted by them. And always remember that color is a property of light. So magdepende ang mga colors na makita when light goes out or color goes with it. And remember that if line is uh, very important at the disposal of an artist because it can help them in creating guides, outlines, forms, and figures. Well, color, yeah, functions visual art creates or provides an aesthetic appeal. And we have three dimensions of colors or attributes of colors, which are hue, value, and intensity. Talk about value, it just refers to what gives color its name. The reason why we have names such as red, blue, violet, yellow are because of hue. So it all indicates hue. Then we also have value, which refers to the lightness or darkness of a color. So it's a quality of color that depends on the amount of light and dark that is added in a hue. So for example, you add a white color to a hue, so it refers not to a tint because a tint is a hue color with the brightness in it, and usually tints are lighter than original hue. And if we're going to add naman darker color or black to sa original hue, it makes a shade. A shade is a hue of a color with black mixed in it. Shades are darker than the original hue. So it's not actually correct or acceptable to just say we're going to wear a shade of blue, tapos you're going to wear sky blue, right? Because again, shade are more darker than the original hue. That is why if you're going to say you're going to wear a shade of a color, so you must wear a darker color of that original color. Next, we have this an example of how tint and shade are different from each other. And now let's proceed to intensity. If value refers to the lightness and darkness of a color, well, intensity refers to its brightness and darkness. And intensity is usually adjusted by adding additional colors to the pure hue. However, each color that's added to a pure hue will decrease its intensity. So if we're going to add white colors original hue, it will become light, but in intensity, it will become less intense. So we have also an example. So if yellow hue, this is the original color, tapos mo siya pag gray, that will make the color less intense. So we also have different psychology of colors. So one important thing that artists have to remember is that color is known to have very psychological and emotional connotations. That is why if we want to understand what is the emotion that is trying to convey by the artist, we should also look at the color because each of these colors also has their own meaning. So, for example, here, so for black, it refers to, it conveys the meaning of death, sophistication, mystery, and evil. For for white, it refers to purity, innocence, cleanliness, and peace. For blue, heaven, calmness, trust, wisdom, and loyalty, and so on and so forth. So those are the different psychology of colors. And then we also have different meanings of colors conveyed by the rose, of course. So if you're going to give a red rose to someone, so meaning you are trying to convey a message that you love that person. Okay, so it also stands for courage and fortitude. And for white, it refers to secrecy, innocence, purity, reverence, and humility. And you're trying to convey a message that that person is heavenly. And if you're going naman to give a person pink rose, so it conveys gratitude and appreciation. So parang you are trying to say to that person, thank you. And if yellow, it represents joy and freedom. And for coral rose, it speaks of enthusiasm and desire. So those are the different psychology of colors that we can use to analyze an artwork. Next, let's proceed to texture. From the word texture, it is an element that deals more directly with the sense of touch. And it has something to do with the characteristics of surfaces na pwede natong mahika. So it could be rough, smooth, fine or coarse, shiny or dull, plain or irregular. The texture is very real to the sculptor and architect because wood, stone, brick, concrete, and metal feel differently. But do not forget that texture cannot only be seen sa visual art, na sculpture, and architecture because even in painting, um, it can also have texture. However, nakakaiba lang yung purpose or function ng texture sa sculpture and sa painting. Because sa painting, it's more of an illusion. Meanwhile, sa sculpture, it's really more of a tactile experiences. Next, we also have perspective. To talk about perspective, it deals with the effects of distance and the appearance of objects depending on the eyes judges spatial relationship, depending if where you are situated. Okay, so we also have two types of perspective, which are linear perspective and aerial perspective. Talk about linear perspective, it usually uses lines which converges on at the center. Later on, I'm going to show you an explanation about that one. And then involves the direction of lines and the size of objects. So based on this illustration that you can see, it uses different lines that converge at the center, right? So that that red na line, horizontal line is what we call horizon. And as you can see, the different lines converge at the center, which forms the term vanishing point. So the reason why it's called vanishing point, because as we approach to that point, everything tends to vanish and anything beyond the vanishing point seems to be not cannot be seen na siya. Okay? So that is why a linear perspective uses converging lines. Then we also have aerial perspective. This is the representation of relative distances of objects by gradations of tone and color. So if you can see in the linear perspective, if doon gani ang mga objects, no, it appears to be bigger. But if magdikalayo na pud siya, no, magdika-converge siya sa vanishing point, magdika-smaller pud ang mga objects. So that is for linear perspective. Meanwhile, if we're going to talk about aerial perspective, it's more on the gradations of color and tone. No, more like na magkika-change ang color. Why? Think for example, this one. As you can see, if you are looking at that object nga doon sa imuha, the object appears to be clear. The color appears to be so sharp. Meanwhile, if magtitalayo na siya, the gradations of color happen through making the more multi-color ang color. So that's what we call aerial perspective. And next, we also have, of course, space. In painting, as in architecture, space is of great importance. And in architecture, we have these two types of spaces. So we have exterior that is seen outside, but interior is seen by those persons inside an enclosure. Now let's proceed about form. So form applies to overall design of work of art. So talk about form, it describes the structure or shape of an object and directs the movement of our eyes. And every kind of form has its own aesthetic effect and all the visual arts concerned with form. So form has different types. So first we have regular forms. From the word regular forms, it refers to a form who is consistent, orderly manner, balanced, and they are usually stable and symmetrical. So just like what you see in that picture. Okay, so those are kinds of regular forms. Kanang mga regular shapes na to. So we could also call that as regular forms. Meanwhile, we also have irregular forms, which is a total opposite of regular forms because they are dissimilar and unrelated to one another. They are usually generally asymmetrical and dynamic. Talk about dynamic, nag-change because based on what you've seen in the picture, diba? Uh, it's not really stable. So pwede siya change ang mga different forms and shapes. Next, we also have centralized forms. Centralized forms, from the word central, so with the use of the several secondary forms, so it directs the movement of our eyes padulong sa center. So muna siyang gitawag siya centralized forms. And then we also have radial forms, probably from the word radial or radius. So these are compositions of linear form that extend outward from central form in a radial manner. So muna siya nga padung sa it also directs the movement of our eyes, no, na from center padulong tawas pa outward. So that is what we call radial forms. And now let us try to discuss volume. So talk about volume in visual art, since visual art again is what can be seen by an eye. So it usually refers to amount of space occupied in a 3 dimensions or 2 dimensions. And it therefore refers to solidity or thickness of an artwork. And in visual arts, we perceive volume in 2 ways. First, by contour lines, outlines, or shapes of objects. And second, by surface lights and shadows. If you want to make your 2D drawing appear to have volume or occupy space, you may use shading, diba, through lights and shadows. And that's it for our discussion. I hope that you have learned something from from the classification and elements of visual arts. And if you do, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this channel, Sir Josh Knowledge Nook, your learning partner. And if there are some things that are topics that you wanted for us to discuss, please don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. Bye.